I am back with a what sold video. So if you want to know what sold this week, stay tuned.
Started small, now we roll, watch the empire rise, flipping churches, catching eyes, no surprise, we the prize. We got the deals that make you feel like royalty. 3 queens on the ground, respect and loyalty.
Hey friends, it is Stephanie with 3 Queens Resell, and I am back with a what sold video. I know I used to do these daily, and I do want to get back to that, but we gotta do what we can when we can, friends. So I am starting with the first day of September. So this is so we'll go Saturday to Saturday, and I have some goals for the month. So my goal for the month was to sell 300 items and make $3,000. So we're going to see, I've got some things in place. August was super slow. It was the slowest month ever in our reselling business since I've been full-time. I think that had a lot to do with me not feeling well and not listing as much as we used to. But hopefully we're going to turn it around this September while I work on this like health stuff. So let's get into it. Starting off with Saturday, September 1st. Was that on a Saturday? We had 8 sales. So on Poshmark, we had this J. Crew new tag vintage slim straight jean size 26. I picked these up at a local consignment shop and they were only like $3. So of course, still of a deal. I picked those up back on March 4th and they sold, what is this, September? So April, May, June, July, August, 6 months. They sold for $39. After the $7.80 in fees, I was left with $31.20. I'm always going to pick up J. Crew new tag, and you should too. Next up were these Everlane Lori printed short sleeve blouse, size extra large. I picked this up at the Goodwill outlet. I don't see Everlane there that often, so whenever I do, I pick it up no matter the size, but I was extremely happy that it was an extra large. I picked this up on July 14th, so about, 2 months, almost 2 months ago. And it sold for $18. After the $3.60 in fees, I was left with $14.40. Then next, we had this Carhartt straight leg pant size 6, and it was a tan color like that Carhartt color. And this was a women's pant. I know Carhartt, some pieces can go for ton. These women's pants weren't them, but I know the brand does bring people into the closet, so it was a Ben's pickup. I picked those up on July 18th. They sold for $15 after I had $3 in fees. After the fees, I had $12, and those were listed not quite 2 months. Next up, on Poshmark, we had this new tag David Lanier plus Everlane collab pant, medium. It was like a black herringbone print jogger elastic waistband pant, unique, and they had been listed since April 23rd. They sold for $20. After the $4 in fees, I was left with $16. And when I picked those up in April, I felt like that would be a more moving into fall sale, and I was right. Same with this next item, this red cap mechanic lined jacket, blue extra large. This sold on eBay. It had been listed since April 28th. The order total was $30.65. The sales tax was $2.34. The transaction fee was $4.19. The shipping label was $8.31, and my earnings after all the fees and taxes were $15.81. Next up on eBay was this Venturas hooded or heated jacket, size 3XL, black new tag. This item sat in my death pile for a good 6 weeks before I listed it because I wasn't sure if it worked right, if it had all the parts, but then I decided to list it, and then if it didn't, somebody would like tell me. But it had been listed since July 23rd. The order total was $68.28, and these jackets sell for over $100. Like I had it listed like closer to like $130, but the reason I took the lower offer was because, like I said, I wasn't sure if it actually had all the parts, and I figured it was new with tag, and if it didn't have all the parts, somebody would be willing to like get what they needed to make it work and not send it back as a return. But I guess it did have everything because I didn't get a return, and I got like a great review. So the sales tax was $4.26. The transaction fee was $8.83. My shipping label for that was $9.02, and I earned $46.17. And it was a bins pickup, super lightweight. So I'm very happy with that. Next up on eBay, we had this Free People Molly cable neck V-neck sweater size small. I did pick this up at the bins. It was listed on August 15th, so it sold in less than 2 weeks. The order total was $47.91. The sales tax was $4.47. The transaction fee was $6.32. The shipping label was $8.44, and I made $28.68 in profit on that. And then finally, on September 1st, we sold on eBay this Lane Bryant faux fur tan teddy coat new with tag. So this was another one that when I picked it up on July 2nd, I knew it was a good find, but it wouldn't sell until later in the year. I actually am surprised that it even sold this early in the season. And I think it was like a 3X. The order total was $65.32. The sales tax was $4.42. The transaction fee was $8.47. The shipping label was $11.90. The ad fee, because that was a promoted listing, or it did sell on promoted listings, was $1.31, and my earnings were $39.22 for that. So on Poshmark, we had a total of $73.60 for 4 items. eBay, $129.88 for 4 items. And so our total for the day was $203.48, which brings our average sale price to $25.44. And so those are our numbers for the first day of September. Moving on to September 2nd, we had 6 sales. So starting with Poshmark, we had this Eloquent new with tag midi dress, purple, size 20. I was wanting to hold out for more on this, but the pictures were not good and the dress was hard to photograph. And so I just was like, this is probably as good as it's going to get. It had been listed since July 24th. It sold for $20. After the $4 in fees, I was left with $16. Then next was this Old Navy Sweetheart jean size 18. I really don't pick up Old Navy hardly ever to list full stop in my store. Sometimes I pick it up for auction if it's new at tag. But these were a size 18 jean, and they had only been listed since June 27th. They sold for $12. After the $2.95 in fees, I was left with $9.05. I know some resellers do not like to take sales that are under $10 profit. I don't really either, but since I do source at the bins, my proximity to the bins is less than 20 minutes. And we have a ton of storage space. And we have 2 people who work on our reselling business, myself and my husband. We can kind of like take some of those lower end items, and because we can churn and burn pretty quickly together. And next up on Mecari were these Wrangler Outdoor Cargo Utility Pants, size 34-32. They sold for $18 profit. Then on eBay, we had this Talbot's cardigan sweater, blue, size 3X. Talbots and plus sizes, I do not pass on. Even the Talbot's factory, it always moves for me. This had been listed since April 28th, which I knew we'd have to hold on it because it is a cardigan sweater. But it sold. Order total $24.85. The sales tax was $140. The transaction fee was $347. The shipping label was $545, and the eBay or the earnings were $14.53. Next up on eBay was this Madewell sweatshirt, purple size extra large. I really am focused on picking up sizes extra large and up, and have been for a while. This was also an eBay sale, and it has been listed since April 19th. The order total was $19.16. The transaction fee was $277. The shipping label was $616, and the earnings were $10.23. Then finally on eBay, we had this item that had been listed since August 20th, and it was these Tommy Bahama relaxed linen pant, size extra large. The order total was $23.61. The sales tax was $144. The transaction fee was $332. The shipping label was $717, and my earnings were $11.68. So for the day on Poshmark, we had two sales that equaled $25.05. And then on Mecari, we had the one sale for $18. On eBay, we had three sales for $36.44, bringing our total for the day to $79.49. For those 6 items, the cost of goods was $10.74, and the average sale price was $16.24. And that brings our weekly numbers, our number towards our monthly goal, to 14 items sold, and then $282.97 for the month of September. Next up was September 3rd, and so we had 9 sales for the day. So first up was this Kate Spade cardigan sweater, blue, size large. This was a bins pickup. It had been listed since April 28th, and it had a slight hole in it and was missing a button. And so someone sent me an offer for $8. I took it because it was so flawed. And after the $2.95 in fees, I was left with $5.05. I normally do not sell flawed items, but I knew that the brand, the title, Kate Spade, would bring somebody in, and it was still very wearable. Next up on Poshmark was this H&M black cardigan, large, new at tag. It sold for $15 after the $3 in fees. I was left with $12, which I am super excited for because this was an item that I bought to auction and with a $1 start, and nobody bought it. And so I ended up making $12 off of something that I would have been happy with. Well, I wanted more than $1, but I was going to start at $1. So if it went for $1, I would have to be happy with it on whatnot. But no, it went for 12. And I did not write down how long I've had that because I normally don't process in when I get auction stuff. Next up was this Schlesinger flounce golf skirt. I made $18 on it. It had been listed since May 1st. That was a Mecari sale. Next up on Mecari, we had 2 Mecari sales. Were these Joe's jeans denim shorts, size 30. They sold for $17, or I made a profit of $17. They have been listed since June 16th. Next up on eBay was this White House Black Market red animal print dress, size 2. So even when I was sourcing this, I was like, don't do it, because while I do move White House Black Market, the smaller sizes sit forever. This item had been listed since March 25th, and so we got an offer and just took it. Our order total was $19. After the 84 cents in sales tax, the transaction fee of $275, the shipping label of $616, which I think that was a little too heavy for that. Our earnings came to $925. Next up on eBay was this Blue Island long sleeve peach mini dress, gold size medium, like cover up. The order total was $32.24. The sales tax was $256. The transaction fee was $438. The shipping label was $468, and the earnings on that were $20.62. It had been listed for just a month on August 4th. Next up was this Tord Camo Utility Jacket 3X. This was a Depop sale. The order total was $24. The transaction fee was $158. The Depop fee was $240, and my earnings were $20.02. So what Depop has eliminated Depop fees as well, but they still have transaction fees, but it's only on the things that you listed from the date. I forgot, maybe it was like July 1st that they got rid of Depop fees. But if you listed it before that, you still have to pay a fee on it. Whereas Mecari, when they decided to get rid of fees, they got rid of fees on everything. It didn't matter how long it had been listed. So I just have not had the time to go back through our Depop and delist and relist everything. We don't have a ton of sales on Depop, so I don't know if that is even the best use of my time. But it's kind of frustrating because I feel like there's a way that they, on their end, could eliminate fees for all the items. Next on Depop was this Nike Tri-Fit Quarter Zip Black. The order total was $20. The transaction fee was $136. The Depop fee was $2, and my earnings were $16.64. And then on Depop, we had these Polo Ralph Lauren lounge pants. They had been listed since August 21st, so only a couple of weeks. On Poshmark, the order total was $20 for those, and the transaction fee was $1.39. There was no Depop fee on those, and the earnings were $18.61. So on Poshmark, we had 2 sales for a total of $17.05. On Mecari, we had 2 sales for a total of $27. On eBay, we had 2 sales for a total of $29.82. And in rare fashion, Depop took the day with 3 sales at $55.27. The total for the day was $129.14 for those 9 sales, bringing our sales number for the month up to 23 items sold at $412.11 in profit. Moving on to Wednesday, September 4th, we had 8 sales. And so first up on Poshmark was this Logo Athletics Marshall Falk jersey size 2XL. This had been listed since February 29th. It sold for $18 after the $3.60 in fees. I was left with $14.40. I learned at Posh Fest, I'm recording this like after that, that sporty vintage is in. So yeah, because I have had that for a couple of years, relisted, delisted, put it on auction, did all types of things with it. So I'm glad to see that it finally found a new home. Next up was another vintage piece. This was a slip set. Cabanu is the brand, and it was a size medium. I made $34, and it had been listed since July 3rd. I don't do much vintage. I don't know. I don't seek it out. If something falls into my hands at the bins that I think looks good, I'll look it up. But it is not an area that I know very much about at all. Next up on eBay, we had this T by Talbot's long sleeve knit top, size medium. The order total was $15.37. The sales tax was $94. The transaction fee was $2.30. The shipping label was $4.43, and my earnings were $7.40. Then on eBay, we had a maternity piece. We have quite a few maternity pieces because I used to do Whatnot, maternity auctions on Whatnot, and I kind of got over that. So those items I just took and listed them all, and they slowly been selling for much more than I would have made on Whatnot. But this had been listed since April 24th. It was a motherhood maternity casual short blue size medium. The order total was $21.92. The sales tax was $143. The transaction fee was $311. The shipping label was $609, and my earnings were $11.29. Then on eBay, we sold this Cole Haan bucket bag gold. It has sold twice in the last month. It was sold and the person thought it was too big, and so they returned it. We do take buyer pays shipping on eBay when they return it to us. And so then it was listed a few days and then it sold again. And so this time it sold for $37.55. The sales tax was $262. The transaction fee was $528. The shipping label was $743, and my earnings were $22.22. And I only paid a couple of bucks for that, so I was pretty happy. Next up on eBay, we had this J. Jill long sleeve pullover top green size 3X. You guys know I love my 2X and 3X items. This had been listed since September 5th. The order total was $26.14. The sales tax was $171. The transaction fee was $363. The shipping label was $443, and my earnings were $16.37. There's a couple of reasons I like to go through all those numbers. Is the first, it's important because the fee comes off the order total. So you're paying a fee on the order total. So that includes the transaction fee and the sales tax and the shipping label, or the sales tax and the shipping label. You're paying a fee, the fee on that. That's what the transaction fee is based on. But also, when I was a new reseller, I was so frustrated with people's numbers because their numbers would be so much higher. Like, I sold 5,000 in a week. And I'm like, okay, like, how'd you do that? Well, a lot of times people are giving you the number, the gross number, and not the net number minus the fees and shipping and all of that. So you've got to be careful when you listen to people's numbers, because sometimes it's not what's going in their pocket. And so therefore they're not making as much money as you think they are. So that's why, in full transparency, I like to show you all of the numbers. Next up on eBay was this Tord striped cardigan sweater, size 3X. It had been listed since August 20th. The order total was $25.33. The transaction fee was $3.53. The shipping label was $6.33, and my earning was $15.47. Then finally on Depop, we had this soft loft black cardigan sweater, size large. The order total was $14.40. The transaction fee was $113, and my earnings were $13.27. That had been listed since August 21st, so just a couple of weeks. So there's also this idea that only like really trendy, edgy things sell on Depop. Friends, I cross-list everything to Depop. I've sold all kinds of things, from kids' clothes to unbranded, trendy things. We use List Perfectly to list, and I'll put my link down at the bottom and whatever the discount is, because I can't ever remember it, but I will put that down there. We use List Perfectly to list Poshmark, eBay, Mecari, and Depop all at the same time, all on the same day. So all the listings go live on the platforms within a minute or so of each other. And I don't think it matters. Maybe some things sell for more money and quicker on Depop, but we sell plenty of things on Depop. Next up, so the totals for the day, Poshmark was $14.40 with one sale. Mecari was $34 with one sale. eBay, we had 5 sales at $73.05. And on Depop, we had one sale with $13.27. So our total for the day was $134.72 for the 8 sales. Our average sale price was $16.84. Our cost of goods was $13. And we are at 31 items for the month and at $546.83 for the month after all taxes, fees, and all that stuff. Moving on to Thursday, September 5th, we had it. This has been the slowest day of the month so far. And we had only 4 sales. So first up on Poshmark, we had this Free People Frame and Partners collab dress, size 12. I paid up a little bit for this, but this gown is beautiful. Check out the stock photos. I should have tried it on, but I thought I have a little bit of body dysmorphia. I probably could fit a 12, but I definitely would have tried it on if it was a 14. But it had been listed since July 1st. It sold for $65, and after the $13 in fees, I was left with $52. Next up on eBay, we have these the high hybrid shorts, black, size medium. The order total was $15.46. The sales tax was 59 cents. The transaction fee was $2.31. The shipping label was $5.07. The ad fee was 77 cents, and my earnings were $6.72. Those had been listed since January 22nd. Next up on eBay, this item will also be featured in my update on Sell Through Sunday, and they are the American Eagle short. This was the pink Active Flex men's short, size 32. They had been listed since July 22nd. The order total was $20.28. The sales tax was $121. Transaction fee was $2.90. Shipping label $5.07. Earnings $11.10. And then finally on Depop, we had this Nike Golf Tour Performance black long sleeve. The order total was $16. The transaction fee was $123, and my earnings were $14.77. And that had been listed since August 12th. The Free People dress was from a consignment shop, but all the other ones were from the Goodwill outlet. So the totals for the day, Poshmark, that one sale with $52. eBay, we had 2 sales at $17.82. And Depop, we had 1 sale at $14.77. The total was $84.59 for the 4 sales, which is an average sale price of $21.15 and a cost of goods of $14. And for the week so far, or the month so far, we're at 35 sales and $631.42. Moving on to Friday, our last day of the week, we had 8 sales. So first up was this Double D Ranch faux fur vest, size medium. It had been listed since March 4th. It sold on Poshmark for $80. After the $16 in fees, I was left with $64. Then on Poshmark, we had this Ann Taylor Loft modern boot corduroy pant, size 8, and it was this tan color. They had been listed since January 1st for $12. They sold for $12 after the $92.95 in fees. I was left with $9.05. Next up, we had these Ralph Lauren straight leg jeans size 10 sell on Poshmark. They have been listed since July 14th. They sold for $19 after the $3.80. I was left with $15.20. Then on Mecari, we had these Fabletics Power Hold leggings, red, size medium sell. I made $18 off of those. They had been listed since June 27th. Then next up, we had this Roberta Roller Rabbit blouse, which is a very high-end, expensive designer brand. It was a size extra small, and it sold for $20. It had been listed since July 1st. And then on eBay, we have this Hobbs London button-down blouse, size 12. It is also an expensive brand, but the resale market just isn't there. The order total was $23.80. The sales tax was $162. The transaction fee was $334. The shipping label was $438, and my earnings were $14.16. Then on eBay, we had, and the Hobbs have been listed since February 26th. Then on eBay, we had this Habitat long sleeve multicolor lag and look top. It had been listed only since July 14th. The order total was $30.28. The sales tax was $185. The transaction fee was $414. The shipping label was $443, and my earnings were $19.86. And then finally, we had this on eBay, this Duluth Trading Company long sleeve hooded top, green, extra large. It had been listed since June 30th. The order total was $20.40. The sales tax was $133. The transaction fee was $292. The shipping label was $507, and my earnings for that were $11.08. So Poshmark came in at $88.25 for 3 sales. Mecari $38 for 2 sales. eBay $45.10 for 3 sales, for a total of $171.35 for all 8 sales, bringing our weekly total to 43 sales and $802.77. So that is the number to beat for week 2 of September. So if you like what sold videos, let me know in the comments. Do you like a week preview, or do you like me to do it day by day in my short videos like I was? Let me know which way you prefer. Week 2 of September will be this long format as well, because we're already past that for me to do it live. But week 3, depending on your feedback, I can try to do a short one each day. But thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below, and I will see you in the next one, friends.
Catching eyes, no surprise, we the prize. We got the deals that make you feel like royalty. 3 queens on the ground, respect and loyalty.